Pfizer has a possible vaccination. That's great news, but should you buy the stock now, or are there better candidates? The government still has Operation Warp Speed in effect, so let's take a look at the Trending Thursday watch list of these stocks. Coronavirus big news hit last week. I just think that it's important enough that we got to talk about it again. Pfizer BioNTech Covid-19 vaccine, 90% effective. Now, as I've watched this, that's a big number. That's a great number. U.S. EUA application expected this month, which is for the month of November. I wonder if I'm looking for it. There's a lot of stocks in here as well. See all the stocks on the move. Now, there was something in here that I saw as far as another story. We were moving a little bit fast to get the stories put up today. The first interim efficacy analysis of the large-scale phase 2/3 clinical trial evaluating Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine showed it to be more than 90% effective 7 days after the second dose in preventing infection in participants with no evidence of prior SARS-CoV-19. There was a story that I saw there. The story we considered through the final analysis of 164 confirmed cases. No, that wasn't it. There was the story that showed then. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. 94 confirmed COVID-19 cases were evaluated. That stands out glaringly. So we're talking about a vaccine that's 90% effective. That's the story. But only 94 cases were evaluated. That's tough. All right, that's tough. And am I being a negative Nelly about it? No, I'm not being a negative Nelly about it. I'm being a realist about it. That's not a lot of cases when you start to think about putting out a vaccine to millions of people. All right, that's my opinion. So the story is good. The story is good, but I need a little bit more confirmation behind this. All right, so that's my opinion behind it. I don't always like to give my opinion, but part of the story tells me only 94 cases were tested. That scares me a little bit. Now, also in this phase, so that's Pfizer and BioNTech. Another one, Eli Lilly gets emergency okay for COVID-19 treatment. I'm not going to try to say that word except for it's a walla walla bing bang. Ching chang, bang bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. That's it. That's walla, walla, bang, bang. On its treatment, shares up 4.7%. That was on November 9th. Eli Lilly has received emergency use authorization from the FDA for that name, a treatment for mild to moderate COVID-19 in adult and pediatric patients. All right, so mild to moderate. So at the beginning phases of COVID-19, this is a drug that can be used possibly. Lilly said it will begin shipping treatment immediately to Amerisource Bergen, ABC, which will distribute it as directed by the government's allocation program. That's something else to take into consideration. In all of these companies that are still trying to get to that point of a COVID vaccine is distribution. There's going to be a lot of people out there who have cases, and I think that going forward, as just as life continues, we're going to get 3 vaccinations now going forward. You're going to get a pneumonia shot, you're going to get a flu shot, and I think now we're going to be incorporating a COVID shot. Which COVID shot can we use? Well, as you can see, there's a lot of different companies on the cusp of getting something out there. Safety and effectiveness continue to be evaluated, but that name was shown in clinical trials to reduce COVID hospitalizations and ER visits in patients at high risk for disease progression within 28 days after treatment when compared to a placebo. It is not authorized for patients who are hospitalized or require oxygen therapy. So that's another stock in the list of coronavirus that's getting closer and closer to a vaccine. And another one, Vaxart, and this was today. Vaxart vaccine shows encouraging action in animal studies. So this one is in rats or mice. And this one didn't show, whereas unvaccinated animals lost 9% total weight. Additionally, unvaccinated hamsters had over 2 times the relative lung weight of orally vaccinated hamsters. You know something? You ever watch TV and it talks about, hey, this drug will do this, but the side effects are, well, you're going to bleed from your eyes, your nose is going to turn upside down, your lips will fall off, your hair will fall out, your ears will turn upside down, your heart may blow up, your hands may swell, your arms, but you could take this drug. So I'm thinking that this is one of that as I look through here, a little bit of weight loss or a big kind of weight loss could be an issue. The data also showed comparable mucosal protection between intranasal and oral routes of administration. So either up your nose or oral routes or taking it by mouth. There you go. So that's another stock. And one more stock in here is Moderna. This came out yesterday. Moderna surpasses target cases for first data readout from pivotal study of COVID-19 vaccine. Now, here it is. Let's see. Announces that the first interim analysis of results from a large-scale pivotal study of the vaccine mRNA 1273 will include substantially more than the 53 cases it was expecting. That's another low number of cases that companies are coming out with, hey, this is great, this is going to be a great drug. Man, these numbers of testing, the number of people being tested really needs to go up. All right, so these are the stocks that I'm going to be looking at. VXRT, mRNA was supposed to be on the other side. That's supposed to be on the coronavirus. mRNA. I don't know why it was under the wrong one. All right, so let's take a look at these stocks in the software. So this is the news. Let's go take a look at them. mRNA, BNTX, Lilly, and Vaxart. Now, just to let you know, the people that are out here, and VJ, notice that I am checking the facts on these stories. That's why the numbers of people being tested is coming to my mind. All right, and I'm bringing that to your attention. The news is one thing, and I think a lot of us get caught up and captivated by the news. I'm reading the stories. so that you understand what's going on behind the news. All right, and then I'm going to use the software to analyze the stocks to determine whether or not these are stocks that you want to know about. All right, Pfizer. Where's my Pfizer? Is my Pfizer not in here? mRNA. Didn't I have PFE supposed to be in this list? There it is, and Pfizer. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. There's my 5 stocks. All right. There's my 5 stocks. So the first thing, especially for the people who are brand new to the room, when I set up a VectorVest watch list of stocks, they are automatically sorted by our master indicator, VST, which shows the best combination of value, safety, and timing. The stocks that have the best combination will migrate to the top of the list. Notice the stocks that are at the top of the list happen to be the coronavirus stocks. Why? Because they are really starting to move. But this is where the rest of the story comes in. All right. Every day we give a value on a stock, what we feel the stock is currently worth. All right. mRNA is trading at $86 with a value of $39.47. That just means that people are willing to pay a premium beyond what the stock is worth. When we look at value, we look at things like earnings. We look at earnings growth rate, amongst other things, to give a really good value or valuation on a stock. The stock is trading at 86 with a value of 39. The stock is over its value. People are willing to pay more or pay a premium to own the stock. Well, the stock is a hot stock. This industry is a hot industry because a lot of people are trying to get to a vaccine. That makes sense. All right. BioNTech trading at 101 with a value of 122. Interesting that BioNTech is under its value. Our mantra is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Eli Lilly at 140, value of 185. Also undervalued. These are stocks that you wouldn't mind owning because they are trading under their value. Pfizer at 37 with a value of 33. Well, it's within 10% of its value. We're going to call Pfizer fairly valued. We look at Vaxart, a price of $5.27 with a value of 68 cents. This stock is clearly over its value. Now, because the stock is overvalued doesn't altogether make it a bad stock. Let's do deeper analysis. Our next 5 indicators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are our core proprietary indicators, and all of these indicators are cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Makes it real simple. If the indicator is above the value of 1, it's favorable. If it's below the value of 1, it's unfavorable. Relative value, RV, looks at a stock's long-term price appreciation potential as compared to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. Let me make that simpler. When you buy a bond, it matures. After it matures, you get all of your money back with a little bit of an interest. It's not a gangbuster trade, but it's a relatively safe trade. Relative value above the value of 1 tells me that the stock should outperform that safe investment in a AAA corporate bond, in this case, by 28% because it's at 1.28. Whereas BioNTech, below the value of 1 at 0.96. This means that AAA corporate bond should outperform BioNTech. So if I look at BioNTech, I now know this is probably not a stock that I want to hold long term, even though it's undervalued. Eli Lilly has got a relative value, 1.46. This stock has got great upside potential as compared to a AAA corporate bond. Eli Lilly, definitely a stock I wouldn't mind holding long term. Go down to Pfizer, relative value is 0.91. Below 1, that AAA corporate bond should outperform Pfizer over the next 1 to 3 years. And the same thing with Vaxart with its relative value of 0.31. All right. That's the upside potential. The next indicator, relative safety. It's an indicator of risk for the stock. Relative safety above the value of 1, safer stock. It looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Does this company meet or exceed its earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year? Well, Moderna, it's got a relative safety of 0.97, a little more riskier stock because it's below 1. BioNTech, it's got a relative safety of 0.9. This is also below the value of 1, a riskier stock. Whereas Eli Lilly, with a relative safety at 1.22, not nearly as risky. Eli Lilly, undervalued, got good upside potential, and it's a safe stock. Now, through this kind of analysis, I can make a better decision no matter what the news is telling me. Pfizer's got a relative safety of 0.96, a little bit more of a riskier stock. And last but not least, Vaxart. It's got a relative safety at 0.71. It is also a riskier stock. Now, we build in a technical indicator when looking at analysis of our stocks. Relative timing tells me if the stock is in an uptrend or not. Relative timing above the value of 1, the stock is in an uptrend. The higher above 1 it is, the faster in an uptrend it is as well. All right, Moderna, it's got a relative timing of 1.71. Nicely in an uptrend. So interesting, if I'm looking at Moderna, it is overvalued. All right, people are willing to pay a premium for it. It does have good upside potential. It's a little riskier. This is what we call an aggressive stock. A stock that's got good upside potential, but you're willing to take a risk on the stock. Good upside potential, a little bit of a risk, and it's moving up. Boom. Moderna, as long as you know that it's a little bit more of a riskier stock, but you're willing to take a big pop in it, that's the type of person that's going to invest in Moderna. BNTX, relative timing at 1.6. The stock's in an uptrend. The fundamentals are not there, though. This is more of a trade. This is more of a trade where Moderna is more of a swing trade because it's got upside potential. Whereas I look at Lilly, good upside potential, good safety, but what's hurting it right now? The stock is not in an uptrend. With a relative timing at 0.89, the stock has got good upside potential. It's not a risky stock, but it is in a downtrend with RT at 0.89. So Lilly just tells me this is a stock that I don't mind holding, and when it's in a downtrend, because it's a stock that I might want to hold long term, I play options on it. I may sell a covered call on it. Let's go down to Pfizer, also in a downtrend. Pfizer, the fundamentals not there, and it's in a downtrend. This is a stock that you trade as you can. It's not a stock that you want to hold long term at all. And Vaxart, same kind of scenario. All three of our indicators are below the value of 1, not a stock that you maybe want to hold on to long term. And last but not least, we take all three indicators, wrap it up into our master indicator. One of the best stocks by master indicator is Moderna, which is the stock that is overvalued, that's got good upside potential, a little risk, but moving up right now. Folks, this is how you analyze a stock. For 99-cent trial, you can analyze any stock that you want the same way that I just walked you through. All right, so if I'm looking at these stocks, let's right-click. Let's view the stock graph. Let's go see which ones I like. There's Moderna. All right, let's put this on a 3-month graph. Moving higher than it was 3 months ago. Looked like it pulled back, found the level of support. Now nicely above our 20-day exponential moving average. Volume is pretty steady. RT is moving up. I wouldn't mind owning this as long as the stock is 12 cents above the high. But wait, what's going on in the market? Remember, from our market timing perspective, the market's at a level where it's looking for a top, right? If I decide to pull the trigger on a stock like Moderna, I'm going to make sure that I have tight stops on it. All right. So Moderna, I like equity curve-wise. BNTX, pulling back. Not below the 20-day exponential moving average yet. This is where I let the stops manage the trade. Volume is falling. Understand that if I'm looking for a stock, I want to see a stock rising in price on rising volume. Volume is conviction. RT is starting to pull back, but still above the value of 1. Keep your eye on that if you own it. Next stock, Eli Lilly. A lot of choppiness in the stock. The stock has spent a lot of time below the 20-day exponential moving average. In that indicator, RT, that tells me if a stock's in an uptrend or not, Eli Lilly has spent a lot of time underwater by relative timing as well. I'm not ready to touch it just quite yet. Just with today's activity, not only gapped down, but did pull below the 20-day exponential moving average. So there again, the news is there, but the analysis gives you better useful information. All right. Next stock, VXRT, more of an aggressive trade. We already know that. All right. By the analysis that we gave, now we're looking at the graph. The stock did move above the 20-day exponential moving average today. The volume has been rising, but where's it at right now? Right at the 20-day. If I'm going to look to get into this, I really want to see the stock go above the 20-day exponential moving average first. All right. Next one, Pfizer. Even with the news of the vaccine, and this is interesting, the stock is going down. So why? Remember, we looked into the story. How many cases did they analyze before they start to say that it's 90% effective? And look at what the stock is. I think people, just like I'm just showing you, is seeing that. I don't think that's enough information to tout that it's 90% effective at this time. And I think investors are saying the same thing. All right, it's right there at the 20-day exponential moving average. Volume is falling, and the stock is currently in a downtrend. All right, with all of that being said, does anyone have any questions about? And someone said that Eli Lilly was the best stock to take a look at. You know something? I'm not sure by way of the graph it's the case, but it's got good upside. Who said that? That was Ed and Denise. Was that Ed and Denise? Yeah. So I'm looking at the relative value, looking at the relative safety, what's hurting. So the fundamentals are there. The timing is not there. What I do like, if I look at this list, what I do like is Moderna. All right, Moderna has no track record, says Ed and Denise. All right. Moderna's story is out there. What am I most important? What is most important to me when I'm looking at a stock? the analysis, the stock's got great upside potential. I'm going to take a risk in investing in it, and the stock's in an uptrend. The stock's in an uptrend is important. Why? I want to make sure that the stock that I'm buying is a stock that's rising. All right, Ed and Denise, does that make sense to you? I'm not, and I agree with you on Eli Lilly that the fundamentals are there, but the stock is in a downtrend. I'm willing to take Eli Lilly as long as the stock is back in an uptrend. That's what I'm looking for. Any other questions? Hey, if you like this content, guess what? You can join us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. here on YouTube. Join VV Nation. We hope to see you there.